Welcome back, everyone, to the sixth part of our MVVM with provider series. In the last video lecture, we covered how to add the login API using the third-party API website reqres.in. If you missed that, make sure to check it out as we will be building upon that today. Today's topic is crucial for any mobile application. Managing user sessions using local storage, and in our case we will use shared preferences. But before we dive in, make sure you have subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future updates. Let's start by taking a quick look at the code we have so far. So for any for accessing or for saving or for showing the API response in our on our screen, or to store the response in our project. So for that reason we need to create some models of our API response to store them and to uh, manipulate with them and to play with them. So for that reason, first we need to create models of the response which we get from our API. So for that reason we will be creating our model. For that reason we will be using our website which creates our model from the response of the API. So we were using the third-party website reqres.in for our uh, login API. So it we will be getting the response uh, this from our this API, which was reqres.n/API/login. So we will be creating the model, and we will be using our website, which is JSON to Dart, and it will create models for us. So I will be naming it user model, and just clicking on generate Dart. So here you go, our model is ready. So if you get any kind of APIs, if you will be working on a real project, or you will be getting APIs from your developer, then you can do check it or do test it or do get the API response by using a software which is called Postman. So just put that API or the endpoint, and you will be getting the response. So just copy that response and come to this website and just paste the response. You will and your model will be created by this website. So our response was this, which was coming from this website. So I have just copied uh, this response and I have just pasted it here and generated uh, our user model. So I'll be copying it from here, and here I will be going back to my VS Code, and here I will be creating my model. So here I have already created it, so just paste it here and just save it, and here you go, our model for this response is ready. So now we can uh, when user logins, uh, we will be getting a token based on the user, so that token will be saved in our local storage, and here in our case we will be using local storage, and which is shared preferences. So for that reason we want to use a shared preferences in our project. So firstly we need to install it in our project. So for that reason I will be searching shared preferences. Here on the top I will click on shared preferences, and I'll be coming on installing tab here, and I'll be just copying this part, and I will be just pasting it on my pubspec.yaml file, and under the dependencies, and I'll be saving it. uh, if error code exit code 0 comes, it means that our package is successfully installed. So we have just created our user model here, and now and installed our uh, shared preferences package, and now we will be creating and using this model and using the token which will be coming when user logs in into our website, and at the API based on that credential token will be given to us by this response. So we will be saving that token into our um, local storage, and we will be checking and managing the user session. If a user is logged in, then go to home page, and have no user and no token is stored on our local storage, then come to this login screen. So let's move towards uh, towards implementing the shared preferences and saving the token into our database or local storage. So here in model view directory, I will be creating a new dart file, which will be user view model dot user view model dart. Yeah. So in this class, in user view model class, we will be just implementing some logics where we will save the token into our local storage and fetch that saved token, and we will be creating another function where we can delete or remove that token from our local storage. So let's begin by creating class, and which will be user view model. I'll be using it with a change notifier. So uh, here we will be linking this user view model with our screen, and I will be using provider to access this class functions or methods. So firstly let's just save the let's create a function to save the token into our local storage. So for that reason I will be creating a future function of type bool, and I will be naming it save user, and I will be what a type of uh, data, from which type of data we will be uh, accessing or saving into our local storage. So the data will be of type of this class which we have just created, user model. So we will be just accessing this model class, which will be the type of user model and a user. So this is a future function, so we will be using our async keyword here, and in this function I will be just uh, initializing my shared preferences or creating instance of my shared preferences we have just installed in our pubspec.yaml file. So here I will be creating a await and shared preferences dot get instance. Yeah, we are done. So here where it is a type of boolean, so I will be just returning true to remove the error which we are getting. So here you go. Now here I have just created a instance of my shared preferences, and now I will be saving the token um, into our local storage. So here the shared preferences dot set string, the set string will be saving the token into our uh, local storage. So what token or what key we were getting from the response? So the key name is token here, so we will be just uh, giving the same key as we are getting from in our response. So the key will be the token which is coming from our response, and the what will be the value, and the value will be when a user click on this login button and add the credential and add the API, whatever token or whatever response we will be getting from there, so it will be saved into our local storage. So here we will be using user and user dot token dot toString, and this by using this we will be just whatever token we will be getting from the API response, it will be saved in our shared preferences in our device local storage. So here you go, we are done with implementing saving the token into our uh, local storage, and I will be creating another function which we will be getting this saved token. So we will be getting this saved token, and I will be just implementing another future function which will be the type of and here you what type of data we will be getting. So this token is a type of user model class, so we will be just creating a function of a user model type. So user model, and I will name that function get user, and as you know it is a future function, so I will be using my async keyword, and again I will be creating a instance of shared preferences, so I'll be just copying it from the above function, and here you go. And I will be just storing the token in a string, so I will be, so it will be easy to put it into a parameter of user model. So here whatever data is saved in our data local storage with the key of token, so just get it. So when we were saving it, we used set string. So when we are getting some value or some data from our shared preferences, so we will be using get string. So get string, and what were the key we have just saved? It was the token. So we will just add that token, and here we will be returning a user model type, and we will be just returning a user model and the token, and whatever token we are getting from here, so we will just return this token. So here you go, we have just implemented uh, another function which we are getting the saved token from the shared preferences. So now we will be just creating another function, so we can also delete or clear the data or token when users log out from the application. So just let's create a future and bool which will be remove user when it is a future function. So I will be using my async keyword and return true to remove my error first. So here you go, we have just removed the error, and I will be creating another instance of my shared preferences for removing the user from the shared preferences or from the local storage. So we will be just calling the function which is dot remove, and I will be just adding the key, but just remember the key and the spelling must be the same what key we are getting from our response. So it is necessary to mm, don't misspell the key, whatever key we are getting from our response. So for that, from that key we will be saving or deleting or getting or fetching the data. So here we have just removed it, and we will also call another function to clear the all the history or all the things of related shared preferences or whatever data has been saved in our local storage. Just clear uh, all of them. So here we have just created uh, our user view model. So now let's uh, just call them, and we have in call them in our login API. So where we are calling our login API. So as you know, if you are following up with me, we have just explained this auth view model and created our login API, and we were hitting our login API. So in auth view model, now we will be just uh, call our these functions um, and making them uh, work. So let's just do that. So here we will be simply checking and calling the save user uh, function from our user model, so as we have just created here. So if login button is clicked, it comes in this auth view model. So here you go. When login is successful and API has it, just whatever response we get, do save it in our local storage. So for accessing our this user view model function, so firstly we need to create instance of our provider. So we will be just creating a variable here, which will be final user model, and view model is equal to provider, yeah, sorry, provider dot of context. And here we will be just providing the class name, what class data we will be getting. So it is user view model, and here you go, we are done with that. And now I will be just, when user successfully hit the API, and whatever response that we will be getting from our API, we will just save it in onto our local storage. So here we will be just calling it the mm, save user, as we have just created uh, now. So what will we be heading here? So what will be heading? The token type is the user model type, so we will be just user model and user model token, and value, we will be getting the token from the value, the value dot token. Yeah, let's see why we are not getting any suggestion. User model token value, yeah, value dot to string, whatever value we will be getting from the API, so that will be the response of that API, and the value only the token is stored. So whatever value it will be stored in our uh, local storage. So here you go. As you know, we have just defined the save user function and saving the token into our uh, local storage. So here we have just called the save user, and whatever response we will be getting, and the key is token, and we will be saving it into our local storage. So here is another thing which will be lesson to false if we will uh, not be using this and set it to false, so we will be might be getting some kind of error. So let's just make it false and just save it again. So Now we will be just checking. So here I am using the loading button because when when user clicks on this button and the API is being fetched, in that time circular uh, thing should be shown. So if you are following up with me, you know we have just created a button in part 3, I guess, so which was a reusable button. In that button we have uh, added this loading functionality. So here you go, a component and a loading button, and which is not uh, required. So now we are just implementing this. If it is clicked and API is being fetched, just show a circular indicator, progress indicator in place of text. So here you go. We are done with this. Now we will be just mm, checking get if it is working or the response is being saved in our local storage or not. So for that reason we need to first add this view model into our main.dart providers list so it can be uh, called or accessed. So here we will be just copying this and just calling user view model, and here you go, we have just provided our this class to our multi-provider list or providers list. So I'll be closing these whole unnecessarily things. So and let's just log in evhe.holt@reqrs.in and the password um, Celica, sorry, city Celica, and I will be just clicking on the login button. You see, no such method, no constructor declared. Hev dot. Okay, so now let's just create some uh, routes. So for checking the user session, if user is logged in, so we will be doing all the things and checking functionalities in our splash screen backend. So for that reason we will be creating a splash screen first. So I will be creating the routes for my splash screen. So here you go, I will be just copying this and just renaming it to splash, and here I will be just calling it as splash screen, and I will be just saving it, and here I will be just copying and paste this case, and I will be just calling it splash, and it should go to the splash view. So first we will be creating a splash screen. Here is splash screen dot, and I will be just creating a stateful widget which will be a splash screen, and here I will be just creating a scaffold. In the scaffold body I will be just calling my center widget to make the splash text on the center of our screen. So in the child and text, and this is the splash screen. So here we are done with this, and again I will be moving to my routes and just naming this splash screen. Yeah, now I will be just creating this uh, services for splash screen. So the functionality of the splash screen to check if user is logged in or not logged in. If the user is logged in already, go to the home screen, and if user is not logged in, just um, come to our login screen. So in the user view model, I will be creating a new directory which will be our services, yeah. And in the services I will be creating a new dart file which will be a splash uh, screen services dart. So in this class we will be just checking the user session or managing the user session. So I will be just creating a class which will be a screen splash screen services, and here you go. And I will be just creating a getter method, or we will be getting the user view model functions or methods uh, in this function. So I will be just creating a future type of user model, which will be the type uh, user model, and I will be just get user data, and I will be just return the view model, uh, user view model, and which will be the and here we go. Now the uh, get user data, when anything is saved or token is saved, so it will be stored in our this get user function or method. So it will be now available in our newly created get user data in the splash screen. So by using this function we will be checking the user session or managing the user session. So here you go, and we will be just creating a new void function which will check authentication, and we will be just adding the context here. So we will be and we will use async here and async, and now we will just check the um, get user data. If it is done, whatever the data is stored, if it is completed, then just come here and check it. And here we will be just adding some functions. If value, whatever value, this value, if value, sorry, if value dot token uh, is equal to null, then just go to login screen, navigator dot post name, and here you go routes dot name, and just if token is null, just go to login screen. Else, if token is not null, go to our home screen. We will be just copying this. Oh, yeah, here you go. We are done with creating our logics and checking user session in our splash services. So now I will be just calling this uh, function in our splash screen. So here I will be calling this function in our init state. So before all the build widget is built, this init function should be called before the build widget. So here I will be um, just creating an instance of our splash services class to access the functions of that screen. So here you go, we are just done with this splash splash screen, and here you go, we will make this final to remove our some warnings, and I will be just calling this function uh, in a timer. So we should make wait um, and this widget for 3 seconds to show this, and again, and now this function will be called. So to show the splash screen text on the screen for 3 seconds, we need to um, call our services check authentication in a timer, so it should wait for 3 seconds, which is seconds, 3 seconds. So whatever time you can give it, I will be just providing it 3 seconds, so it should wait for 3 seconds and go to the next screen. And now I am done. I will be just restarting it. I will use the const keyword here to remove some warnings we are getting. So now I will be just calling uh, my email, and what email we are getting from our this third-party website. So here we will be just adding this email, so whatever email or whatever credentials are provided by this. So activate reqharihas.in and city Silka city SLICK, and I will be just uh, so you see um, the screen is navigated to home screen. So now here you go. uh, I will be just auto restarting it again, and now we will see whether it will go to or in our login screen or go to our home screen again. So in here you go, this is now went to our login screen, so we will check what we are doing wrong here. So let's go to the function here. So if token is null, just go to the login screen, and if it is not null, go to the home screen. Yeah, so let's just check. And here what we are missing. So yeah, in this method we are just saving our user token here. So let's just print the token in this class. Yeah, so we will be just printing the token to check what token we are getting. So here I will be just printing the value to string value dot to string to check uh, what value we are getting here. So let's just check it first. I will be just evhe dot holt at the rate req and city silica. I'll be just logging it. API is it, and here we are getting the token. And why we are going back to home screen. So let's just restart it again and see if the error is resolved or not. Yeah, let's check this issue. This will be coming from here. If a user is equal to null, go to login screen, and if it is not null, just go to our home screen. Yeah, we will be checking between routes. Splash. Yeah, here we are good. Splash. So let's just to see why the splash is not being called. We'll just save this. Splash screen, and we will just go to our main.dart to check the screen is not. Yeah, sorry. On the initial route, we had just checked the initial route to login. So we had let's just change this again and let's check this again whether it goes to home screen or um, it goes to login screen again. So let's just restart it. So high splash screen. Now you see when a user is logged in, it goes to home screen. So it means that the token is being saved in our local storage. And when a token is saved, it is getting from the local storage and checking if there is some token based on the user. So it is going redirecting to home screen. And when a user logs out or the splash screen is cleared, so we will check that again if a user uh, goes to login screen or goes to the home screen again. So I have just already restarted it, and now let's just it goes again went to home screen because we have not called uh, the remove function of our user model in the on pressed function of this button. So let's just move to the home screen and let's just uh, do that. And here you go, we are just and we will be just creating the instance of the provider, which is user view model, and we will be calling it provider provider yeah, provider dot constant of, and I will be just providing final, and we will provide the class, which class function we will be accessing. So it is user view model, and I just call the function remove, and it will just remove, and here you go, we are done. Now when I just click on this button, oh sorry, I will be just calling lesson.false here and save it. Now when I click on this login button, let's see, we went to our login screen here, and I will just auto restart it, and now let's just see if user redirects to the login screen or to the home screen. Yeah, now when I have removed all the data from our local storage, so there is no token available, so that is why it checked whether there is some token stored in local storage or not, and according to that we have just redirected to our login screen. So then that is it for today's video. We have successfully implemented shared preferences to manage user sessions in our MVVM architecture. In the next video, we will dive into making GET requests and fetching data to display on our screen. Don't forget to check out the code snippet in the video description below and follow me on social media for updates. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow developers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, happy coding.